You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. I know a lot of people are having the conversation today about the roster with respect to the transfer portal. In the last 2 years, LSU has had to dip into the transfer portal, really out of necessity. We know the roster situation when Ed Ogeron was fired, and we all know the number, right? The 39 scholarship players in that bowl game and all that stuff. So you really had to go into the transfer portal. As a matter of fact, like Brian Kelly, at the end of his press conference today, was kind of asked about this, about the turnaround time, and he actually interrupted the gentleman asking the question. Forgive me, I'm not sure who it was asking the question, but Brian Kelly interrupted the question. Can you play that one, Muse? Here's what Brian Kelly said.
I don't have time. Do I look like I've got time? I didn't come down here because I got time. I came down here to be successful with the LSU football program. So, no, we don't have time. That's why we did what we did in the transfer portal, or I would have took all freshmen last year. So there is some management of this, but we'll get them better. We'll get these guys playing better. They want to play better. They've got pride. These guys will respond. They'll bounce back. We lost, I think, 40-something to 14 to Tennessee, and I think they were ready to burn the city down.
That's fine. I'll come back to that later. But the point is, Brian Kelly's telling you he doesn't have time for a long rebuild. And so you have to use the transfer portal. You have to. And I think we're all accustomed to and accepting that. But there's still this idea and this belief, I know from some, because I've heard it, where some of you have said, well, look at what going through the portal has gotten you. It's gotten you this instability, and if you miss and you need to build through the high school ranks. I think the way Brian Kelly is building his roster is right. You want to build through the high school ranks, but you have to supplement your roster through the portal. Here's the reality of what we are seeing in college football right now. There are programs that are historically relevant, that have fallen on hard times, and you have boosters that are eager and desperate to win. So they are investing right now in the portal. A&M did it wrong, y'all. A&M did it wrong. A&M took a pile of money and threw it at a bunch of high school kids and signed the best class ever, the highest rated class in the history of recruiting rankings. And so everybody a year ago had this expectation that A&M was going to be great, but the problem was they were all freshmen. Not all of them were ready to play right away. And half of them left after one season. There was a way, you might as well just take a big pile of money in the middle of your room and set it on fire. That's what A&M did a year ago. It wasn't spending money on recruits through NIL in the problem. The problem is they spend it on high school. Where you have to allocate your resources is in the portal to the best players in the portal. Week 1, LSU lost to Florida State. Keon Coleman was the best player on the field. Braden Fisk in the middle of that defense was a disruptive force. Fentrell Cypress was a starter at cornerback for Florida State, and if he played at LSU, he'd look like an All-American right now next to the guys LSU's got. If LSU had those three guys, how different does that game go, week 1? How different does the team look right now? Dramatically. But you missed on it because Florida State paid him more. And don't get me side. Don't come at me with, if you're a Florida State apologist, oh, you're just sour because, no, we all understand the game. Argue semantics you want, however you want to phrase it. We all know what NIL is, okay? You have boosters, collectives that are paying players to play football at their school. Phrase it, accounting, label it, however you want. I don't care. We all understand the concept, okay? And I was told the numbers. And Florida State put a 3X on the number LSU offered for those three kids. They paid more and got better players through the portal. So look at the programs, right? Historically significant programs that have fallen on hard times, that have boosters that are eager to win, and they're spending in the portal. You want to go through this list with me? Florida State, Miami, Texas, USC, Tennessee, Nebraska. Y'all, it ain't hard to see what's happening. You've got to be able to allocate your NIL resources to win with the upper crust of the portal. Brian Kelly's approach isn't wrong. signing a great high school class and supplementing with the portal. That's not wrong. The problem is when the best corner you sign is a kid from Southeastern. No disrespect to Zy Alexander. He's probably your best guy right now. No disrespect to him, but the ceiling's lower there. When you're running out of safety from Marshall, that looks a lot different than Eric Reed, LaRon Landry, Chad Jones, Grant Delpit. You follow me? And no disrespect, that kid plays hard. He was your leading tackler the other night. But it's a lot different. So you need, if you're LSU right now, to coach those guys to their max effort. And even if you get all of those guys playing their absolute best, their ceiling is lower because they're not Grant Delpit. Zy Alexander's never going to be Derek Stingley, no matter how hard he plays, how much you coach him up. LSU's real problem right now, the biggest problem this program has, it's not Brian Kelly, it's not Matt House. The biggest problem this program has is the collective is not funded and they cannot go compete for the best players in the portal every year. That's the biggest problem. Gordon can't do it alone, y'all. And LSU doesn't have a bevy of billionaires ready to throw whatever money they need. I told y'all this whenever the collective was founded. It's been an expensive 3 years at LSU. You pay Ed Ogeron $17 million to go away. You guarantee $100 million to Brian Kelly. You run Nikki Fargas out. You give Kim Mulkey $2.5 a year. Now that's over $3 a year. Paul Maneri retires. You bring in Jay Johnson. You're going to have to break him off now as well because he's won a natty. My point is, it's been expensive. And you keep shaking the same trees. And eventually the leaves are going to stop falling. That's what's happening because you go to the same people and say, now you need to pay the players too. What? That's LSU's biggest problem right now. Funding this collective to be able to attract the top of the transfer portal. Guys, this is another conversation, a different conversation for a different day. Not like when we go deeper. We're in the middle of the football season. When you still have a lot to play for and a lot to do. But if you're wondering what's happened, that's what's happened. Yes, keep recruiting the state of Louisiana. Keep getting great high school athletes to come populate your program and grow and develop them. And some of them are going to leave. That's the nature of it today with the portal. That's going to happen to every program. Build your program through to the high school ranks. Supplement with the top of the portal. But you got to be able to pay. And LSU does not have as deep of pockets right now. How do they fix that? I don't know. Put a tax on every ticket sold. Got 100,000 seats in Tiger State. Put a $5 tax on every ticket. Have it go fund the collective. It's got to be an aggregate thing. That is the real issue facing the roster at LSU right now. It's something that programs like Texas and Florida State and Miami, USC, have very quickly understood and thrown resources at to rectify. That's how they've gone from irrelevant to good. Look at the landscape of college football, y'all. The Pac-12 has more ranked teams than the SEC. It's bonkers. That's the challenge facing LSU. The real challenge facing LSU. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.